We've been to 23 countries, and every single program lives or dies by the team we work with locally. You've been exceptional.
I think people have been incredibly friendly. Tell you one thing I think is really bad. The speed of the traffic is unbelievable.
My name's Chris Nelson, and I am the director of the series of BBC Global Questions, which is broadcast internationally around the world for BBC World Service Television.
My name is Geraldine Ryan. I am the editor of a program called Global Questions, which is the BBC's international debate program, which is for BBC World TV and World Service Radio. We go all around the world.
當知道 BBC 嘅團隊第一次嚟到台北製作，咁我就決定揾咗本地都叫得上係優秀團隊嚟幫手一齊製作呢個節目。
我是必應創造這邊，那我是負責 BBC 這一場的硬體統籌。
我是無線音像的視訊工程，然後我叫楊寶俊。
我的工作是攝影師，然後就帶着公司的團隊來做這件事。
我是黎澤光，然後這一次 Global Question 的燈光設計，
在這邊負責整個算是節目的只要有關聲音的部分的總成。
我是陳柏宇，我是 BBC 這個節目的翻譯。
我是台北文創，也就是這個場地的負責品牌行銷的小倩。
We decided that we would come to Taipei. It's a bit like organising an event in another country, so there's a lot of complexities to it. And you have to meet the right people, you have to have the right contacts. And once you have got those, you start communicating with people, you then have to find the right location to hold your event.
除咗我哋需要提供節目製作上嘅安排之外啦，例如場地啦，喺場地上其實佢哋係有都頗高嘅要求嘅。
That was proving to be quite difficult here in Taipei because everybody was saying that the weather wasn't good, so you couldn't do it outside, but you needed to be inside. But the right place wasn't available, or it was too expensive, or it didn't have the infrastructure.
14楼是一个很不错的场地，因为他们需要的是可以看到台北的地标101，可以一眼在这边看到台北的特色。
Anyway, we ended up in here, and 14 floors above the center of Taipei at the Taipei New Horizon. And what a wonderful place it is. The view is astonishing.
我们有邀请到日本的设计师伊东丰雄来为我们的设计这一整个场馆，所以可以看到，不管是我们外面的绿地啊、屋顶啊，或者是我们底下的水池啊，或是建筑的外观，我们有非常多的弧形哦，这是我们建筑上的特色。那也可以看到今天录制节目，整个灯光打下来，或者是现在阳光洒落，整个光影都是非常漂亮的。
But obviously the view has its own problems because we're surrounded by glass, and putting television inside a glass bowl means that there's an awful lot of reflections. But the team I've been working with, they've made all this happen. And the whole crew have been astonishing here.
這次的背景是城市，所以我們的陽光是可以從窗户外面透射進來，亮度要依據我們的螢幕去隨時做調整。現在最大的range是從100%直接掉到黃昏，直接掉到5%，因為顏色不一樣，我們背光很重，所以我們要把亮度提高之外，然後到晚上的時候沒有背光的時候，我們要把它減到5%。這我們要依據它拍攝的角度，然後我們去做不同的調整。像我們也有準備有燈架的去補它的點光，讓點光不足的地方，我們還要天上有可以移動的電腦燈，我們可以用電腦燈去瞄準那個人，然後讓那個人去做發亮。讓還有一些背景的部分，就是可以讓人更有層次，像補一些頭髮的光，可以讓人更美。視訊異地連線，他們的電腦聲音傳不過去給異地的人聽得到。我們這2天都一直在解決，到底要怎麼把聲音丟進去電腦，讓異地聽得到。然後他們的軟體好像有問題，我們就是用別的方法去排斥處理，剛剛就順利幫完成。
他們是一個不會只是要求，而是會互相溝通的一個團隊，所以整個在錄影的過程，我是覺得很順暢的。在應變事情的方面，彼此可以互相協助，也會彼此給彼此工作的時間，而不會是就是一直趕、一直追時間的部分。
他們在工作的時候就是很認真、很專業。那 但是又不失一些轻松。它不是随便，但是就是一个像平常一样，像呼吸一样，就是理所当然一样的事情。制作出来的节目的成果就是很高标准，这个就是大家的目标，都对目标来去做执行跟实现。
他们有很明确的知道自己要做什么，或是知道自己要什么画面，可以马上我们在现场相对应工作人员可以直接很快速的反应，提供他们想要的设定。
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, okay. That's really, really good. Okay, lovely. Thank you very much.
技术上是没什么，应该大家都是蛮同步的，只要东西一拿出来就知道他们要做的是什么，只是沟通上可能语言的关系会要帮导播他，让他跟当地的 crew 沟通上，然后大家的工作的环境是非常的顺畅舒服的。
这些器材我们有做升级，镜头全部都用 4K 的，然后大倍数他们原本是开80倍，但我们带了107倍。虽然说很近啊，但是有升级的作用。然后想说他们都来到台湾，那我们就用更好的东西给他们。
This crew and the setup and the attention to detail and the hard work has been absolutely fantastic. You know, putting together this, you know, the cameras, the dolly, the jib, the rig, it's just top notch.
Working with the team here, honestly, they have been so efficient and they've executed everything according to plan and more.
One of the things, it's not easy to pull off a debate when you travel the world, and every country is different. So getting the right venue that shows we're in Taiwan but enables an 8-camera shoot like this, finding a terrific OB company who can technically help you pull it together is crucial. And we definitely found that with Pepper Project. All of her team have been extraordinary and really willing to work hard and deliver. They felt part of the program too, and I thought that was really, really important to making a success of the program.
For these
Islands.
and
And
for
all of us. Brilliant, well done.
因为 BBC 是世界上也算蛮大的电视转播台，所以想看看他们的工作环境跟工作模式到底是长什么样。
没有想到他们有跟台湾我们这里的那个摄影团队合作，就觉得这样子跨国界的合作是很珍贵，然后很有趣的。在学校的规模都是很小，然后没有看过这么多比较算先进吗的设备，或者是比较高阶的设备，就是跟他们有一些，例如说你们这个剪辑通常是花费几天，然后他们就是给我们说他们是怎么剪的，就是这个剪辑过程是什么，给我们很多他们的经验。
我觉得就是真的人都很好，然后 Chris 也很常跟我们就是他就很常来告诉我们说，你有问题都问出来，然后很大方的想要让我们去看到就是怎么做节目。
一方面的确能跟 BBC 合作是一个很难得的机会，然后另一方面就是可以，就是我想要看一下，比如说像英国他们这样的外国人，他们面对像台湾现在这样议题的时候，他们会有怎么样的态度？
很感谢他们到各个国家实地去做这些节目跟采访，然后也愿意在现场给一些学生就是来观摩的机会，我觉得是很开心，对，很感恩。
他们的 team 真的很棒，我觉得我可以遇到那些跟国外专业的电视台一起合作，我很开心。然后挑戰是一定有的。
相信 BBC 團隊同我哋啦，大家都會好期待今日嘅來臨。
Am I on this spot?
Yeah.
Woo! Oh dear. Welcome to Newsnight Global, the first in a series of special programs from the heart of some of the world's biggest international stories. I'm presenter of BBC's Newsnight program and BBC Two. This is the first one that we have done as a global edition. And we thought it was a really good time to come to Taiwan. You know, Taiwan is very much, at the forefront of international conversations just now. And it's been given a kind of added impetus because of what's happened in Ukraine. And I think people are very conscious that the issue of Taiwan is a very live issue at the moment. And of course, very strategically important, economically important because of semiconductors. Expertise is way ahead of everybody else's on this. But funnily enough, talking to the students for this program, one of the things they said was, enough with the semiconductors, we have to get the next big thing. What's the next big thing? Taiwan has got to work harder to get the next big thing. I thought that was interesting.
Taipei, we'll be joined by politicians, military experts, tech giants, entrepreneurs, and Taiwanese students to try to make some sense of the threat of conflict in Taiwan, just as Xi Jinping becomes ever more powerful. And we'll ask what the fallout could be not only for these islands, but for all of us.
Nice to see you again.
Of us coming from London, we've had to organise an audience, we've had to organise the panel to talk to our presenter Zainab Badawi. An amazing amount of sort of effort and production to make it all happen for 3 days here.
I was moderating a program called Global Questions, and Global Questions is a series whereby we go all over the world. We invite a panel from across the region, and then we have a local audience who will ask questions to the panel. And I can add some questions myself, because I always like to ask things myself to clarify what's been asked. And I think that we had some really excellent questions from the audience. Very well considered questions that really looked at the issue of Taiwan's relationship with China, what people are saying here in all its dimensions. So I think it was a very successful edition of Global Questions about whether Taiwan is the flashpoint for China and the world.
What we tend to do is to get our audience is we try and get lots of people, young, old, mixed genders, male, female, whatever, to come and ask questions to a panel of people who are accountable for the things that they do in their life and how they influence society and policy.
I think they have invited like really interesting line of panelists. They each represent different perspectives. I would really love to see them sharing their views on the topic itself from their own perspectives, especially after the CPC having their 20th National Congress recently.
I expect to have a quite debating conversation with the panel to lay out the ground of what their views are and how the world can help on this situation.
I hope to see discussions heavily on solutions to China and Taiwan and how we can improve relations or potentially figure out how we can reduce tensions between the two countries.
I hope to learn more about just Taiwan, especially with like a panel of experts. I wish to know more about how Taiwan can be safer in the future or how our economy might develop as time goes on.
Panelists 有委员，然后也有国民党代表，我很期待这两方的一些对话。
Welcome to the Taipei New Horizon building. This is a lively and buzzing cultural centre in the heart of the city. And I've got a top panel of voices from across the region who are going to be answering questions from our audience here in Taiwan.
Quality of the students, the audience contributors was incredibly high. Standards of English, they were fluent and articulate, and they were very engaged with the topic. So I have to say that that's been enormously impressive. We had a lively panel debate, lots of sensitive and hot topics that people discussed.
My question is, what do you make of the fact that while Taiwan is likely to be a flashpoint for China in the West, the media and the public in Taiwan remain rather indifferent to the threatening situation?
Chief Jamie Law, since you're from the ruling party, you kick off.
If there was an invasion, they would destroy TSMC and semiconductors would disappear.
Is Taiwan now the biggest flashpoint for China in the world? Yes. Do you want me to agree? Very good. Why? So we're very grateful that we've been able to mount this programme because I think there's a lot of international interest in Taiwan at the moment because people have seen how in Beijing President Xi has been confirmed for a third term in office. He has restated Beijing's policy on Taiwan that he believes that it should be unified. with the PRC, the People's Republic of China. So I think people wanted to know what the mood is of the Taiwanese people in the light of these comments coming from Beijing. So we're really glad that after the COVID restrictions were lifted, that we were able to come to Taiwan.
Remember, Global Questions is the program that brings you the trend lines behind the headlines from me, Zainab Badawi, and the rest of the team. Until the next time, goodbye.
Program has been a long time being made, and every single one of you today, yesterday and on Saturday came together and made this place look amazing. We thought the shots tonight and the debates and everything around it all came together to be one of the most spectacular programs that we've done. It looked astonishing.
And I wanted to say thank you very much from me for all your excellent work and hard work and Prudence leading the team. And it was a wonderful production, and I want to say thank you to all of you, and I hope we can come back sometime in the future to Taiwan.
We've been working together for a team for 8 years. We've been to 23 countries, and every single program lives or dies by the team we work with locally. You've been exceptional, and I have to say one person in particular is of course Prudence. Prudence, you have saved my life, not only to do with everything with the venue and with the technical thing, but you've been so easy to deal with and a real pleasure to work with you. So we just wanted to say thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Thank you. Welcome to Taiwan.
I've never been to Taiwan before.
I've never been to Taiwan before.
This is the first time that I've been to Taiwan.
Yes, this is my first visit to Taiwan, and I hope it will not be my last.
I'm delighted to be here. We've been out a little bit, because some really good food, some very nice bars. But it's too short a visit, I'm afraid.
But I have found it absolutely amazing. The food is incredible, the people are open and kind and interested in everything we're doing.
Taiwan, I suppose, has been always a part of my life because so many of my toys were often used to see on the label saying made in Taiwan.
I definitely come back. There's lots of places, but obviously Taipei, I've only seen a little bit of Taipei, but I love this whole area around here. I love the old tobacco factory, which is fantastic, which is this big arts venue. And we've been just wandering around the little streets having some street food. But we've been working incredibly hard, of course.
I have been so pleasantly surprised about what a wonderful country it is, and the friendship of all the people that I've worked with, I have met in restaurants. It's just been the most amazing experience of being here. So for a first timer in Taiwan, it has just been an exceptional experience.
I've absolutely enjoyed my time here. I've talked to many people from across the generations, and I think that it is an incredibly efficient, modern, well-run city. The people are so courteous and the food is delicious.
I think people have been incredibly friendly. And it's been a joy just to walk about. It seems a very, very safe city. I tell you one thing I think is really bad. The speed of the traffic is unbelievable. I think a couple of times I thought, am I going to make it across the road before the traffic starts again?
Thank you to Taiwan, and I wish we could have got out of Taipei and seen more of the island. And I wish the sun had shone just a little bit more.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you.
You've got a lot of editing to do, I can tell you.
喜欢这个优质的创作者，就赶快去 follow 他哦！你有发现其他更具爆红潜力的影片吗？赶快投稿给达人秀吧！点击